The ice is not empty. It is the oldest hard drive on Earth. Every layer is a file. Every glacier is a locked archive. Every frozen valley is storing something the planet was not ready to delete. Beneath it, scientists have found murder scenes, bleeding glaciers, dead ships, hidden military tunnels, ancient viruses, and stones that fell from other worlds. These are not legends, they are records. And the most disturbing part is not what the ice preserved. It is what the ice is starting to return. Ice feels silent because it moves too slowly for us to fear it. But that silence is misleading. Ice records. It traps air before empires exist. It seals rivers before maps are drawn. It holds human mistakes, ancient violence, alien rocks, and living systems that never needed the sun. Tonight, on Lost Signal, we are not going under the ice for fantasy. We are going there because the real discoveries are stranger than the legends. And the deeper the archive opens, the more it begins to feel like the ice was never hiding the past. It was protecting us from it. First, September 19th, 1991, Ötztal Alps, Austrian-Italian border. Two hikers were crossing a high alpine pass near Tisinjoch when they noticed something dark emerging from the melting ice. At first, it looked like a recent climbing accident. A body, a shoulder, skin turned leather brown by time and cold. But this was not a modern victim. This was Ötzi, the Iceman, a man who had been frozen for more than 5,000 years. And the ice had done something no grave could have done. It kept the scene almost open. His clothes were still there. His tools were still there. His bow, his arrows, his copper axe, fragments of a vanished world preserved with the intimacy of evidence bags. For years, Ötzi was treated like an ancient accident, a man lost in the mountains, swallowed by weather. Then scientists found the arrowhead lodged in his shoulder. The mountain had not simply kept a body, it had kept the last chapter of a murder. The details are still chilling. Blood traces from more than one person, a hand wound, a fatal shot from behind, and a body abandoned high in the ice as if the killer expected winter to erase the crime. But winter did not erase it. It filed it away for 5 millennia. Ötzi is terrifying because he proves that ice is not passive. It can act like a witness that refuses to die. A crime scene can rot. A civilization can disappear. A language can vanish. But under the right conditions, ice can remember the angle of an arrow. 2. Taylor Glacier, McMurdo Dry Valleys, East Antarctica. In 1911, in one of the driest and coldest deserts on Earth, geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor saw something that looked almost impossible, a glacier bleeding red into the white silence. The place became known as Blood Falls. For decades, people thought the color might come from red algae, but the real explanation was colder, older, and more alien. The red water is iron-rich brine, sealed beneath the glacier and forced out through cracks in the ice. When that iron meets oxygen, it rusts, turning the flow the color of blood. This is not a wound in the supernatural sense. It is chemistry speaking in the language of horror. The brine may have been isolated from the surface for an extremely long time, trapped in darkness, pressure, salt, and cold, and yet the system is not dead. That is what makes Blood Falls so powerful. It does not look like a discovery. It looks like a warning sign left on the front door of Antarctica. No monster steps out of the glacier. No hidden city appears under the red stain. Just water, iron, salt, and time, arranged in a way that makes the earth look injured, and maybe that is the point. That brine has been moving through the same cracks for thousands of years, long before anyone was alive to call it strange. 3. Subglacial Lake Whillans, West Antarctica. On January 28, 2013, after years of planning, the Wizard team drilled through about 800 meters of Antarctic ice and reached a lake that had never seen sunlight, not for a season, not for a century, for a world of darkness beneath a continent. Lake Whillans was not blue and open like the lakes we know. It was buried, pressurized, sealed under the West Antarctic ice sheet, part of a hidden hydrological world most humans will never see. Then came the shock. Researchers found microbial life. No forest, no sky, no photosynthesis. Life was still there. It survived by chemistry, by minerals, by energy routes that do not care whether the sun ever rises. This matters because Antarctica is not supposed to feel inhabited underneath. From above, it looks empty, white, sterile, final. But beneath that blank surface are lakes, channels, sediments, and living systems operating without permission from the world above. And Lake Whillans is not alone. In East Antarctica, Lake Vostok lies nearly 4 kilometers beneath the ice, one of the largest known subglacial lakes on Earth, isolated under a frozen lid thick enough to turn exploration into a planetary operation. That is why these lakes feel like rehearsals for Europa or Enceladus. If life can survive beneath Antarctic ice in darkness, pressure, and cold, then the question changes. It is no longer, can life survive without sunlight? It is, how many worlds have we mistaken for dead? 4. Weddell Sea, Antarctica. On March 5th, 2022, more than a century after Ernest Shackleton's ship sank, the Endurance was found nearly 3 kilometers beneath the surface of the Weddell Sea. The ship had been crushed by ice in 1915. It went down in one of the most hostile oceans on Earth. For 107 years, it rested in black water beneath the drifting sea ice, where almost nothing human was supposed to survive intact. Then the cameras found it. The name was still visible on the stern. The wooden structure was astonishingly preserved. The ship looked less like a wreck and more like a message that had finally reached the surface. The ocean had refused to digest it. That line matters because Endurance is not just an object under the ice. It is a story of pressure. The ice crushed it. The sea took it. The cold protected it. Time passed over it like a storm with nowhere to land. And then, a century later, the ship returned, looking less like wreckage and more like a sealed letter, finally delivered after 100 years in transit. There is something almost apocalyptic in that image. A wooden ship sitting upright in the darkness, its name still legible, as if waiting for humanity to come back and admit that some disappearances are not endings, they are delays. Some signals are not meant to be found, but you are still here. 5. Camp Century, Northwestern Greenland ice sheet. In 1959, during the Cold War, the United States built a base under the Greenland ice and presented it as a scientific station. It was called Camp Century. On the surface, there was ice, wind, and emptiness. Underneath, there were tunnels, sleeping quarters, laboratories, vehicles, and even a portable nuclear reactor. A city under the ice. But behind the public story was Project Iceworm, a secret idea to hide a network of missile sites beneath Greenland's frozen surface. The plan was never completed. The ice moved too much. The tunnels warped. The dream of a frozen military machine began to collapse under the pressure of the very environment meant to conceal it. Camp Century was abandoned in 1967. For decades, it remained buried, along with fuel, waste, infrastructure, and a political secret that the ice was expected to hold forever. But forever is not a scientific plan. It is a hope. As Greenland warms and the ice sheet changes, Camp Century becomes something more disturbing than a Cold War relic. It is not ancient, it is us. That is what makes this place so different from Ötzi or Blood Falls. The horror is not from prehistory. It is from memory we are still old enough to own. What Camp Century left behind is paperwork the planet is still holding on to, fuel, waste, and decisions nobody wants to inherit. November 14th, 2018, Hiawatha Glacier, northwestern Greenland. In 2018, researchers announced something enormous beneath Hiawatha Glacier, a 31-kilometer wide impact crater hidden under nearly a kilometer of ice. At first, it sounded almost too cinematic, a giant circular structure buried under Greenland, visible only through radar, ice-penetrating surveys, and mineral clues carried away by meltwater. For a time, some wondered whether the impact could be geologically recent. Then, in 2022, dating pushed the event far deeper into Earth's history. The Hiawatha impact crater is about 58 million years old, roughly 8 million years after the impact event associated with the extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs. That correction matters. It does not make the crater less strange. It makes it stranger in a quieter way. Hiawatha is not a fresh rupture waiting under the ice. It is a planetary fingerprint pressed into bedrock, then covered by a white sheet large enough to make a continent look innocent. Think about that image. A space rock hits Earth with unimaginable force. Millions of years pass. Forests change. Species rise and disappear. Ice advances, ice retreats. Humans learn to read radar, and only then do we notice the signature beneath the glacier. The ice was not hiding an object. It was hiding the shape of an impact, a reminder that Earth's surface is not a clean floor. It is a document written over again and again with some of the most violent sentences buried under white. 7. Allen Hills Icefield, Antarctica. On December 27, 1984, in the Allen Hills of Antarctica, a team searching for meteorites found a dark rock on the ice. Its catalog name was ALH 84001. At first, it was just another specimen from a place where meteorites are easier to see because dark stones stand out against white ice. Then scientists realized where it had come from. Mars, ALH 84001, is one of the most famous Martian meteorites ever found on Earth. The rock is ancient, more than 4 billion years old, and it became world famous in 1996 when researchers announced that some features inside it might be consistent with ancient microscopic life. That claim did not become proof, and that distinction matters. The meteorite does not prove that Mars was alive. It proves something more subtle and maybe more haunting. Antarctica can collect pieces of other worlds and hold them where we can find them. The ice turned the continent into a cosmic evidence field. A stone was blasted from Mars, traveled through space, fell to Earth, landed in one of the coldest deserts on the planet, and waited on the ice for human hands. That is not mythology. That is orbital mechanics, geology, chance, and deep time conspiring to make Antarctica look like a receiving station. Antarctica simply happened to be standing in the path of a message that began on another planet millions of miles away.
You found the signal.
Subscribe to Lost Signal. Leave your theory in the comments. 8. 2014/2023 Siberian permafrost, Russia. Not every frozen archive is made of glacier ice. Some are buried in permafrost, frozen ground that can lock biological material away for tens of thousands of years. In 2014, scientists reported reviving an ancient giant virus from Siberian permafrost. Later studies described even older viral particles, including one around 48,500 years old. This is where bad science channels usually start screaming about a frozen apocalypse. But the truth is more precise and more useful. The revived viruses were infectious to amoebae, not humans. That does not prove a coming plague. It proves that biological activity can survive in frozen archives for staggering lengths of time under the right conditions. And that is already enough to be unsettling, because the deeper climate change cuts into frozen ground, the more ancient material returns to a world that has changed without it. Most of it will not be a monster. Most of it will be chemistry, carbon, microbes, fragments, questions. But one fact remains difficult to ignore, and every year the ground thaws a little more. The planet quietly tests whether that boundary still holds. So look at the pattern one last time. A murdered man, a bleeding glacier, a lake without sunlight, a ship the ocean could not digest, a city under ice, a planetary fingerprint, a stone from Mars, and ancient viruses that woke up for amoebae, not for us. None of them needed a legend to become disturbing. The facts were enough, because ice does not behave like a simple frozen surface. It behaves like memory with weather on top of it. For thousands, millions, sometimes billions of years, it can hold the signal down, quiet, compressed, invisible. But now glaciers are retreating. Permafrost is thawing. Ancient layers are opening faster than many scientists expected. And the question is no longer what the ice has hidden. The question is what it is ready to return. The ice is opening archives we did not write. And if the ice has been recording everything, then melting is not just a change in temperature, it is playback. Lost signal. Some signals were never lost. They were waiting to be found.